Yeah, life on the outside. Welcome back to the fourth segment of the Harry Thomas Show Week in Review. Today is February 9th, 2008. I'm your host, Harry Thomas. The website where you can find all the news and media that I talk about on the show is at harrythomas.info. Now, Willie Nelson finally spoke out. The dam breaks. ABC News now covers Willie Nelson's 9/11 story. May force other mainstream outlets to pick up the icon's comments. The dam is broken on mainstream media coverage of Willie Nelson's comments yesterday on the implosion of the World Trade Center Twin Towers, with ABC News picking up the story on their front page this afternoon. AOL News also reported on this. Nelson believes the Twin Towers imploded. This came out Tuesday, February 5th, 2008. Country music legend Willie Nelson compared the collapse of the World Trade Center to the controlled implosions of casinos in Las Vegas while on a nationally syndicated radio show this week. And while he was on the Alex Jones show, he said, quote,
"The day it happened, I saw one fall, and it was just so symmetrical. And I said, wait a minute, I just saw that last week at the, a casino over in Las Vegas. And you see these implosions all the time, and then the next one fell, and I said, hell, there's another one. And they're trying to tell me that an airplane did it. And that's, I can't go along with that."
Willie Nelson now, and also he said in that interview that he fears that the election could be canceled. "We could have George in there 10 years longer," says country music star. Country music legend Willie Nelson fears that the 2008 presidential election could be canceled due to a national state of emergency that George W. Bush could occupy the White House for another decade. It's a long time until Election Day, and some sort of national crisis could be put off in the elections, and George could be in there 10 years longer, Nelson said. And with all this stuff and this preparation for martial law with this infra guard, the FBI's program, I wouldn't doubt, that this stuff isn't very possible. Now, asked how the American people should respond in the event of the presidential election being canceled or postponed, Nelson responded, quote, "I would hope that we'd be smarter than that, and I would hope that we'd say no. We're throwing all you guys out, and we're starting over. You could stop the elections if you want, but you can't stop the people." And Nelson has every right to be concerned, especially considering that President Bush's post-terror attack continuity of government plan is so shocking that even sitting members of Congress and Homeland Security officials are barred from viewing it. Debunker's best rebuttal: Willie smokes pot. Frothing establishment bloggers feebly try to diffuse American icon's views on 9/11. And, that's the best they could come up with, folks, is, hey, he smokes pot. What does he know? When the facts are that there's more than enough evidence to conclude that the government was implicit in 9/11, that it was an inside job. And a lot of people don't want to believe that, and I'll tell you what, I'm getting very bored with it, because it's almost turning into like the Kennedy assassination, where a majority of the people know it's foul and that the CIA has some stuff to do with it. That these black op operations in our government, the dark side, and people want to turn a blind eye to it and stuff. They want to say, because it's so uncomfortable, that no, that couldn't possibly be true. And, it's turning into the Kennedy assassination, where 30 years down the line we'll know that, that this was true, and who was behind it. We know now that the orders for Kennedy's assassination came straight from President Johnson's desk. And you can go research that for yourself. A lot of people still don't even want to believe it, even though it's out in the mainstream. I mean, that's how much in denial people are. And a whistleblower reporter exposes how Fox ordered them to lie. And this is what happens in the media. They're all corrupt and stuff. They order their reporters to lie, even when the reporter knows that they'll lose their job. Listen to this.
And the first deal was the new general manager.
And his name's Dave.
Was upstairs to his office, and he said, "What would you say if I killed this piece? What if it never ran?" And we said, "Well, we wouldn't be very happy about that." And he said, "Well, I could kill it, And we said, "Yes, of course, you're the manager. You could kill it. It would never air." And finally he blurted out, "Look, would you tell anybody?" I said, "I'm not going to lie for you." About a week later, calls us back to the office and says, "Okay, we'd like you to make these changes. In fact, you will make these changes." We said, "Well, look, let us show you the research that we have that shows that this information you want us to broadcast isn't true. To which he replies, I don't care about that. I said, pardon me? And he said, that's what I have lawyers for. Just write it the way the lawyers want it written. I said, you know, this is news. This is important. This is stuff people need to know. And I'll never forget, he didn't pause a beat, and he said, we just paid $3 billion for these television stations. We'll tell you what the news is. The news is what we say it is. I said, I'm not doing that.
He then tried to bribe him. Now, this stuff here, I've been exposing for a good many years. It's very sick. It always points back to high officials and high government positions. And this one came out of the Raw story, Friday, February 8th, 2008. How well did Florida governor know the alleged child porn peddler? Floridians were shocked last week when police announced that the spokesman for the State Department of Child and Families had been arrested and charged with peddling child pornography. Buried in the news accounts of the case was a curious detail that the official in question had listed the state's current Republican governor, Charlie Crist, as a reference when he applied for his post in 2005. You know, and this stuff always goes back to high officials. There was that whole scandal of the Texas Youth Commission that led right up to Gonzalez. Oh, boy. You know, and that's why I've got that link up about sex rings exposed. And you can go there for all kinds of information on how they're using these rings to force children into prostitution and forced labor even. I mean, this is just sick. And you know, a lot of times that's who's behind these kidnappings, is these people who are corrupt pushing these crime syndicates to go out and get them the goods that they're willing to pay top dollar for. And here we go, came out of the San Diego Union Tribune, February 7th, 2008. Kidnappings of the U.S. citizens are on the rise. Now, organized, well-financed, and violent Mexican kidnapping cells are targeting a growing number of U.S. citizens visiting communities popular with San Diegans and other California residents. Now, last year, at least 26 San Diego County residents were kidnapped and held for ransom in Tijuana, Rosadero Beach, or Ensenada, local FBI agents overseeing the cases said yesterday. In 2006, at least 11 county residents have been kidnapped in 3 communities. Some of the 26 were recovered, some were hurt, some were killed, said Alex Haran, who directs the FBI's Violent Crime Squad in San Diego. And, you know, they're saying that, you know, a lot of these, they've been beat, tortured, raped, handcuffs and hoods are common. I mean, this is really bad, okay? And, you know, there is a sick, satanic cult, people that are into the cult that even use these kids and stuff for rituals, and this is all documented. And I really, you know, it's a subject that is true. It's out in mainstream reports all the time. And, you know, people, it's very uncomfortable. People don't want to talk about it. They don't want to admit that it goes on and stuff. But we do need to get ourselves informed about these uncomfortable things that are happening, these rituals that they're doing. You know, these people who are involved in Skull and Bones, Bohemian Grove, and like I said, it all goes back and traces back to high officials in government and big corporate leaders and stuff around the world. People who have been put in positions because of favors and stuff that they do because they're so far involved in the crime syndicate. And we gotta expose this, and we gotta take back our world from these crazy demonic monsters. And I will be back again next week to expose more corruption and deception within governments and media. And we're gonna fight global government. And together we will make a difference.
Rain on train and leaving.